Hi again from the garden. So the last couple of days I have been harvesting tulips out here in the garden like crazy. I grow cut flowers in zone 5A in Northwest Iowa, and we are about, I think, 3 weeks behind schedule than normal for when the tulips would start blooming. We have had a really cold spring. We had 3 inches of snow on Easter, and so the tulips are finally blooming, and I am so excited for that. Of course, I just missed the Mother's Day holiday, but that's okay. They're coming in beautifully, and I can make some wonderful bouquets out of them. So anyway, I actually had filmed the intro for this video yesterday, and then when I went to edit it today, I realized I had totally cut my head off of that footage. So I just wanted to refilm that for you guys. So in this video, I will be sharing with you how I harvest my cut flower tulips, how I am storing them with the bulb on and where I am storing them. And so that's what this video is going to be about. It's going to be all about me harvesting tulips, and then hopefully in a few days I'll have another video for you guys on making a bunch of tulip bouquets. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. Okay, so this is the first little patch that I'm going to be harvesting from this morning. This is a variety called Promise. I have 100 Promise bulbs planted right in this little patch here. And you can see they're starting to color up nicely, but they're not yet open. So this is the stage that I want to harvest them from. And from what I have read, double tulips you want to let open just a little bit more than single tulips. Single tulips, you want them to just be starting to color up, and then you want to pull those, and I'll show you that I have some of those also. But these are doubles, and so I'm going to pick them now when they're just starting to open up a little bit. And when I harvest these, I'm going to pull the bulb and all, because that is what leaves the nutrients on the flower, so it lasts longer after you harvest it. So I'm going to go grab my bucket, and then I'm going to start pulling some of these, and then I'll show you how I pull them, where I store them, and how I am storing them. So here is a closer look at this particular patch. You can see the color is starting to come in. The petals are just starting to open. From what I have read, you want to let your double tulips open just a little more than a single tulip before you harvest it. So I'm going to harvest most of these this morning. Okay, so these are the buckets that I'm using to put these in. These are from Johnny's. They are their 10-liter bucket, just the standard, not the wide. And last time I looked, these are sold out. I actually wanted to order more, but they always seem to be sold out. So I may end up ordering the wide ones, but this is what I have for now. This is the standard size. So when I harvest tulips again, you want to keep the bulb attached. Sometimes they pull out easily, sometimes they pull out a little tricky. I'm going to start with this one that is definitely ready to harvest. So when I pull it out, I just kind of wiggle it a little bit. Oh, and this one broke. I might have to get my potato fork to get these started. So this is the length that it is when you don't have the bulb attached. I'm going to grab my potato fork and loosen the soil just a little bit. Okay, we'll see if that helps. I'm going to pull the tulip right next to it. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so you can see the bulb is still attached. Well, there's not much different than that one, I guess. This one was shorter to begin with. We'll pull some others and I'll show you the difference. When you leave the bulb attached and you trim this later for a bouquet, you can cut right above the bulb so you know you get the entire stem length. If you were coming through and just cutting these tulips off, you know, you're gonna cut it right at ground level. So there's at least 3 inches there of stem length that you would not get if you didn't just pull it out. This one happened to break right above the bulb, so I'm guessing that's why it's about the same length. So I'm going to get a bunch of these pulled, put them right back into the bucket. These little side growers, I'm just peeling those off. Those are going in my compost. Okay, so I am done harvesting this variety for today. You can see what is left does not have a lot of color, so I'm gonna wait till some of these get just a little more of that pink on, and then I'll go ahead and pull the rest. Now, today and tomorrow we're supposed to get in the 90s, which is crazy for this time of year. So I'm probably gonna have to be checking these this afternoon, and then of course again tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon. And I anticipate picking a lot of tulips in the next couple days just because the heat is really gonna get them going. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this inside, so I'll bring the camera along and show you where these are going. All right, so first of all, I apologize for the not ideal lighting in this space, but this is where I am keeping all of my tulips. This is right inside the back door. I just acquired this fridge from a friend last night for free. It's not exactly what I wanted, but you can't turn down a free fridge. So here's the bucket of tulips that I just picked. These are going in this side-by-side fridge, and I have a couple buckets of tulips already in here. Here's what I picked last night. So I have a tall bucket on the bottom, and then this bucket of some mixed doubles. They're looking so pretty. So then I'm gonna add this bucket to the shelf. And looks like I didn't put my thermometer back in here, but when I opened this up this morning, the temperature in this fridge was 40 degrees. I want to get it down closer to about 38. So I did turn it down a little bit. I just cleaned this all out this morning, so that's why my thermometer isn't in there. But I'm going to set this thermometer, which is for my greenhouse, back in here on the shelf, and I'm going to see what this temperature gets to today. 38, from what I'm read, is about the ideal temperature for tulips, and so that's what I want to keep it at. 40, I think, is a little bit warm. But I should be able to fit at least another bucket here, another bucket here. Of course, these are not full. I would like to store them upright versus laying flat. That's what I want to try first. Tulips will keep growing after you pick them. They also grow up towards the light. So these are going to want to stretch up when they grow. So that's how I want to keep them. That's what I'm going to try this year. So I'm going to close this. I'm going to continue my harvest, and I will show you what I end up with when I am done. I should also mention that when I pull the bulb, I'm shaking a little bit of the dirt off, pulling some of those extra leaves off, and then putting them straight into the bucket. I decided to do it this way versus hosing them off out in the garden because I want to be able to put them in the fridge when they're nice and dry. If you put them in the fridge when they are moist, they have a better chance for developing mold, which I obviously do not want. So I'm putting them in the fridge with a little bit of dirt straight from the garden. Then when I go to create my bouquets, I'll cut that dirty bulb off. I will have a bucket of water for soaking and cleaning for the tulips, and I will clean them at that point. I think it should go pretty quick. You never know, I may adjust it as I'm going and getting my process together, but that's my plan for now. So back to harvesting. I'll show you what I have when I'm done. Okay, so I am almost done harvesting this last little patch of flowers, and I have these fringe tulip called Crystal Star, and a lot of them are at the perfect stage for harvesting, so I wanted to show you what they look like. You'll see I also have some single tulips here that are almost fully open. Now these, of course, are way too far gone to use in bouquets, and so I'm just gonna go ahead and let them bloom out in the garden to enjoy how they look. But some of these yellow ones are at the perfect stage for harvesting. Now I've already picked a few. This one is just starting to open, which technically is a little far past when I want to pick it. I will still probably use it in a bouquet this week. Now this is the perfect stage that I want to harvest them in. They are coloring up, just cracking open. I should get some really good vase life out of that. So there's a few more here that I want to harvest that way. And these I've had trouble pulling out and keeping the bulb attached, so I've loosened the soil with my potato fork. That one snapped right off, but they still have a really nice stem length. See, these are just snapping off. But they are snapping right where the bulb is, so that is where I would cut the bulb off anyway. It's still a lot more length than if you just cut them right at the ground height. So these should last a really long time for me. So I think I have everything harvested that I'm gonna harvest right now this morning. Now with the temperatures getting into the 90s today and tomorrow, I'm gonna have to check these multiple times a day because some of these that are getting just a little spot of color on the top, those are gonna color up really quick. So I'm guessing I'm gonna be harvesting a bunch of these. I think that was a wasp. I'm guessing I'm gonna be harvesting a bunch of these this afternoon yet. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I will put a picture up on the screen at the end of this video of all of the tulips that I have in my fridge so far. I think I have about 5 buckets, but there's probably 1,000 more tulips out here in the garden to harvest. So my plan is to harvest these all this week and the beginning of next week. I wanna get a big stockpile going so I can make a bunch of tulip bouquets at the same time. I plan to do social media posts and an email newsletter post to sell these. And I'm hoping that I have really good luck doing so. I know that this time of year is when everyone is really excited to finally get back out in the garden, and I have already had a lot of people show interest in bouquets when I have them available. So I'm hoping that they should go pretty quick. So anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. I will make sure to do another video when I'm making my bouquets, and then also keep you guys posted on all my garden plantings. So stay tuned, we'll see you soon. Look at all the tulips I have in my fridge so far. It's going to be an exciting season of cut flower farming.